Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Marvel Universe, Marvel Infinite Series, Marvel's Cyclops. That had a lot of Marvel, I realized in the title. I realized that later. I'm like, wow, I think I said Marvel like 4 times. This comes to us from the folks over at Hasbro. It's recommended for ages 4 and up. This is a great opportunity to get yourself a smaller version of Cyclops. We got this Cyclops before, and I'm sure we'll get him again. But once again, I'm not crazy on this packaging, not even in the slightest. Just it has appeal to it, but it also comes across to me like something I would find in a store that sold knockoff pieces. I don't know, like the packaging is just, it doesn't do it for me. If packaging could do something for me, this packaging does the opposite. On the back of the package, collect them all. We've got Deathlock, we got Marvel's Ares, Ant-Man, Marvel's Valkyrie, and Omega Red. Your read-up says, Marvel's Cyclops. For years, Scott Summers led his fellow X-Men into battle, but now he finds himself at the head of a growing mutant revolution. Although he wears the mantle of leadership uneasily, his comrades in arms trust Cyclops to guide mutant kind to a better future. Pretty good read-up. By the way, Spot did pick this up from one of his eBay sellers I usually get stuff from, the folks over at Comics and Toys. I'll provide the link down below if you guys want to head over to their store and check out some of the deals that they have over there. What I am going to do is take a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Marvel Infinite Series, Marvel's Cyclops. Don't go anywhere, guys. Stay tuned. What? Yes, you would be right. Cyclops comes with no display stand to speak of. Basically what you see is what he comes with. He's not a bad looking figure. Again, we've gotten this figure before in a larger scale, and I didn't mind the figure then. It was okay. It's not one of my favorite Cyclops costumes, where it's basically just this kind of dark gray blue, and then he's got the gold trim, little gold outlines on the sides. He's got gold on the bottoms as well. The gold looks decent, as does his face. Let's bring the camera into his face. I find the flesh color for his mouth area is maybe a little too dark. It's a little more goopier, I guess. But it's not a bad looking piece. And I think, like the Marvel Legends version, you could actually have the fingers going up to his visor, which is a nice touch. The thing is, though, if you're not going to have the fingers up by his head, he does just this weird pointing gesture. Also, too, I think here's the thing for me with Marvel Universe figures, or in this case, Marvel Infinite Series figures. This small scale doesn't always appeal to me. I loved it for G.I. Joe, but I don't know, I just don't gravitate a lot towards Marvel Universe figures when it comes to this scale. Cyclops is decent, yes, I'll give it that. But again, it's kind of like the Spider-Mans. Whenever I pick up a Spider-Man from Marvel Universe, it doesn't impress me all that much, just because I guess it's so small. They're very intricate, very fine joints and fine limbs on them. They're very skinny in nature. Now, by, say, the comparisons of, say, I don't know, between Cyclops here and a Thanos. Thanos is a figure that we've looked at before, and yeah, there's a considerable difference between the two. This has like meat. This has solid, like a good mass to it. Cyclops, on the other hand, is just very small, very fine. Now, equally so, if you were to take a Marvel Universe, Marvel Legends version of Cyclops and compare it to a Marvel Legends Hulk or, Apocalypse, sure, of course, the 6-inch figure would still have a difference in size versus a big, beefier character. I don't know, it just doesn't translate as much to me when it comes to Marvel Universe scales. That's just my prerogative, though. The figure itself is still decent. It's not one of my favorite Scott Summers outfits, but it's not bad. For your articulation on Cyclops, his head does rotate left and right, up and down via ball hinge joint. Shoulders are also on that same sort of joint, so they move out, forward and back. Swivel at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and swivel in the wrist. When we start talking about his torso, well, he has a nice ball joint in the torso, so it gives you the option that you can have his fingers up to his visor, and doesn't always bend properly, but have his hands up to his visor, and you can kind of pivot the torso back. He has a swivel at the waist, and then for his legs, go forward, back, out, but it's this weird out. Again, it's this ball joint, but it doesn't always accommodate moving the legs out. Swivel at the thigh, a double hinge at the knee, and a swivel and hinge in the foot. I guess really when you start eliminating display stands where you can properly do these guys justice, with a display stand you can go crazy. You know, you can kind of bend the knee, kind of have it hinged, you can kind of have the visor up, and he can actually be doing something. Just outright standing him, like, hey guys, there's my Cyclops. He just, I don't know, he just doesn't do as much for me. It probably also too is that the costume is interesting, but it's not exciting. That where if you were to take the likes of a black costume Spider-Man with the very dynamic logo, if you took a Venom, you know, maybe I'd be more on page for it. I think at the end of the day, when I'm ready to pack up and leave for to finish up these reviews, I don't know, I don't look at Cyclops and I think, wow, this is a super exciting figure. If you're a fan of Cyclops, you probably will like him. But for me, he's just okay. Cyclops, I'm going to give him a 7.5. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Infinite Series Cyclops. Now, granted, if you were to give us, say, a Jim Lee style Cyclops, which I think we've already gotten, that would probably excite me a little bit more. That's just my preference. That doesn't mean that this is a bad figure. It's just I prefer more like a different design to Cyclops. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Certainly, thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you guys next time.